Hey guys, and welcome to Brand Development with me, your host, Vanika Lewis. Today, I want to walk you through the three important components to developing your brand. Why do you need this? Well, let's just keep it real. If you are a new business owner or you are preparing to launch your business, you will hear a lot of people talk about the importance of branding. But if you don't understand the components and the basics of developing a great brand, you will be lost. And yes, you can learn this stuff along the way and as you grow. But if you have the information you need to get started right the first time around, that's the best way to do things. All right. So I'm going to walk you through three components of brand development. These are not all inclusive, but they are definitely foundational with starting your brand. All right. So here we go. The first three components I'm going to break down for you, not the first, the three components I'm going to break down for you are clear messaging, branding palette for marketing purposes, and then consistent and identifiable visuals. Okay. So let's get into the first component, which is clear messaging. Your audience needs to understand who you are. If you are developing yourself as the primary brand, then they'll want to know a lot about you. What's your backstory? How did you get to where you are? What is it that you are trying to do with the relationship that you're developing with them? All right. So a lot of people who build personal brands tend to operate as influencers, meaning that they may or may not sell a particular product or service, but other companies may utilize them to sell products or services because of the influence that they have with their audience. And a lot of that comes with developing the relationship by letting your audience know who you are. All right. If you sell a product or a service, your clear messaging needs to be around what that product or service is. What can the customer expect? Why do they need that product or that service? What makes you stand out from your competitors? All right. They need to know those things up front. When you're building out your business plan, a lot of this will come from you establishing a vision and a mission for your business. And from that, you're able to develop a marketing statement that helps people really understand what it is that you do or what your product or service does for them. All right. So the next thing I'm going to walk you through is around a branding palette. Okay. A branding palette really is a guide around what your brand looks like. Okay. What are the components of what your brand should look like? This will include things like your logo, what your selected typography or font is going to be. This will include your branding palette, which is a combination of colors that are used specifically for your brand. This is helpful because although you may not necessarily be a graphic designer or a video editor, you need to be able to communicate these things when you're working with people. And helpful tip, when you're talking about colors is important. Let's say you're working on a project to get a graphic design for your website, okay, or for your social media pages. You can't just tell the graphic designer, I want yellow. You want to be able to tell them specifically, this is the yellow and this is the hex number that goes along with the color that I need. And this helps to ensure that when they're designing, they're actually using the colors developed for your brand. And consistent coloring and branding is really important because as people see your brand over and over and over again, they'll get more familiar with who you are. All right. So that's the importance of developing a brand palette. And yes, simple things like fonts are important because you want to consistently use the same font over and over again so that you have a consistent look within your brand. All right. And that leads me to the third point, which is clear and consistent visibility. Okay. That means that when you are developing your brand from a visibility standpoint, you want to ensure that there's a consistency with all of the designs and the items and the products that you're putting out. All right. So that includes your logo and that includes your color palette. And as I mentioned, your font. So think about this. Let's think about Nike, right? We know that their slogan is just do it. Their focus is endurance. They speak specifically to the sports and health world. Every Nike product that you see will have the Nike logo. That's consistent. You will not find any other logo on any of their products because that's how they brand themselves. All right. Every shoebox that you get will be orange with that white Nike sign. All right. Occasionally you'll get a black box, but it's still going to have that swoosh on there. People need to begin to know you by what they see. And the only way that can happen is when you've gone through the process of identifying what your marketing messaging is, then developing your brand palette, and then transitioning into clear and consistent visibility with the development of designs and graphics and videos that you put out. Yes, videos matter. Even think about Instagram Reels and how you could place a cover on it. That's to ensure that although you may be recording in different locations and places, the cover that goes on that reel is going to look consistent so people know that it's you. All right. So when you're talking about, again, those three components, these are the things that are really important as it relates to each of the components that were mentioned. So number one, clear messaging. You need to have a vision, a mission, and a marketing statement developed. Your vision is to really help guide you around the purpose of which you've created the business. All right. Your mission is how you're going to go about executing that. And under the mission is how you develop maybe the products or services or your business operations. All right. And then your marketing statement is a tagline or a slogan that you can use across your pages. Okay. Branding palette should include at minimum logos, colors, and fonts. Technically, it should be one logo unless over the years you're branching out and you're developing multiple subsidiary brands under your primary business. Okay, but logo, color, and fonts are really important with branding palette. Some people even go as far as listing font sizes for different types of graphic design. And again, that's for when you're working with people, you can clearly guide them on what your brand should look like when they're creating projects or products for you. Consistent and identifiable visuals. Again, consistent look, graphic development products. So if you're creating graphics to place in your stories, if you're creating YouTube thumbnails, if you're creating images for your website, it could even be as detailed as creating product labels. All right. It could be packaging materials. All of those things should have a consistent look and feel across the board. And that's, again, how people will get to know who you are. All right. Those are three very basic components of brand development. It can absolutely go into way more detail than that. But that would be where you then take the next step and getting help with developing your brand. All right. And so here's what I want to offer to you. If you are looking to develop a new brand or refresh your brand and you're like, look, this is kind of overwhelming. I think I'm going to need help with this. Here's what you can do. You can use the link in the description below and book a consultation with me. I will assess your brand with you and help you develop a brand palette and a marketing strategy utilizing the brand palette so that you have a consistent look and feel when you're launching or refreshing your business. The other thing you can do is if you are new to business and you haven't quite launched yet, is I do have a business planner available that walks you through all the steps of mapping out your business name, your business mission and vision, your customer avatars, all of those things, so that you have a business plan that then will take you into the phase of branding development. All right. And last but definitely not least is I have something called the Customer Avatar Development Guide. And that may be where you have a brand, you have kind of a look, but you aren't sure how to market it to your customers because you haven't delved into who your client base is. And so that particular guide is going to help you develop a customer avatar, which is essentially examples of who your customer type are, which will help you market to them better. All right. So I hope that that helped you on today with the brand development. All right. If you, again, want more information, you can use the links below to book a consultation with me or purchase a product. Last but definitely not least, hit the subscribe button here on my YouTube channel. And as I create more content, it'll be available for you to help you walk in your purpose. You can also follow me across all social media pages at Vanika Lewis. All right. I can't wait to connect with you, faith friends, and thank you for sharing your time with me. You guys, I'm out of here, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, whatever day it is as you watch this. Comment down below. Let me know what you think, and I'll connect with you soon. Bye.